You're fresh off having your first premiere and the screening here at Toronto Film Festival, the first one since Sundance.
That's right.
Way back in January.
Yeah.
What was the experience like for you as you strolled out onto that stage to not one, but two standing ovations?
You know, it was nerve-wracking. You know, it's like film's like anything. It's like food. Not everyone's gonna like it, and you just don't know who the people are gonna be and if it's gonna resonate. And you know, we played at Sundance, and I feel so blessed because it went really well. But that's a domestic audience. You know, you don't really know what the international audience is gonna, how they're gonna respond. So, you know, I was nervous at Sundance. I was just nervous last night. You know, we gave the introductions. We were in the green room. I'm sweating. We go back, and then they invite us on stage, and you know, they responded. You know, and I remember looking at my cast and crew and just feeling so much pride. More so for them because, you know, for me, I've carried this thing for 8 years. For them, you know, they got paid scale to do it. They're not getting paid extra money for coming to a junket or going to a, you know. So the fact that they got to feel that feeling of reward was everything to me.
It rips a scab off of history and oppression here in this country.
Right.
All praise and all awards aside, for you personally, as an artist, what was the most important parts about bringing Birth of a Nation to life?
The most important part in hindsight was being able to make this film without having to relinquish any control, without having to compromise the story of Nat Turner. Far too often, you know, we get to tell stories, but sometimes we have to tell them through a lens that is not always as clear. You know, other people bring their baggage and you get notes and you get ideas, and all of a sudden the thing you wanted it to be is something else. When I think about making this film, I feel like I'm so blessed to have been able to make it the way I've wanted to.
And what was that? Which way did you want to make this?
I wanted to make, you know, Nat Turner unapologetic as a leader. I didn't want him to have some type of, you know, sidekick that held him up or inspired him outside of God. You know, I didn't want it to use the trope of the white hero to stand beside him, or to really make Army's character the hero so people could digest it. I wanted to just tell an honest story. And I wanted to give the audience more credit, to say that I don't think that my audience is gonna see a black man killing white people and then bring that baggage in and then reject the film. You know, I think they're gonna see someone that stood against an oppressive system, and that maybe, hopefully, if we really do our jobs, they'll take those themes and take those lessons and apply it to their lives now, and use that as they face injustice in their everyday lives.
Back in 1967, Muhammad Ali called together the biggest names in sports for a summit.
Yes.
68 Olympic Games, John Carlos and Tommy Smith raised their fists in the gloves. Recently, happening parallel to your film, 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick sitting down during the national anthem. How did that hit you?
First of all, I applaud his courage. Because it's so hard to go against the grain when everyone else is going the other way, whether it be in slavery, whether it be in the civil rights movement, or whether it be in a game where thousands and thousands of people around you are standing up with their chin up. The reality is that many in that stadium, patriotism is in their blood. It is something they can embrace because they've been the chief beneficiaries of a privilege that so many people of color don't get to enjoy. And I don't think that is, you know, wrong to acknowledge. You know, the reality is you know, it made me think very much about how many times I've stood up to put my hand over my heart to pledge allegiance to the flag during school. Yet those schools never taught me about Nat Turner or anyone of color that resisted against oppression. So to learn about Nat Turner as an adult, I think I recognize I would be much more patriotic had I learned about many of these heroes that looked like me. I'd have a reason to say my country 'tis of thee, sweet and lovely, you know, whatever, you know, I pledge allegiance to the flag, whatever those reasons, I'd be able to associate them with my contribution and the contribution of my ancestors to the fabric that is America. So, like I said, I think that what he's doing is demonstrating great courage, and I support him, if that means anything.
And I can tell you take great pride in the fact that your film can help bring it to the forefront so these young kids can...
What he's doing is a form of resistance. What Nat Turner did was a form of resistance. What Black Lives Matter is doing is a form of resistance. Color of Change is a form of resistance. There's so many different, you know, groups, social justice groups that are joining the narrative, whether it be for LGBT rights or it be for the rights of African Americans or it be for women's rights. There's so many people joining the conversation, and my hope is that this film inspires more of that activity.